Alex, we've been talking a lot about stories, and what I want to talk about now is, the impact of tonality. And I guess just to kick it off, I remember, a story from my past. I remember walking into my bank, and there was a lady behind the counter, and she said, "I don't suppose you're interested in a financial review, are you?" To which I probably quite cruelly replied, "Well, not if you're not." So, there's a real big impact on tone. So, talk to us about your experience of how tone can help us tell our stories, and the importance of getting it right.
Yeah, it's a great call, Gareth. If you speak to people about the people that they remember that tell great stories or present really well, very often what they'll talk about is the energy and the way that they use their voice. That's very, very often one of the key factors. And if you look at communication, tonality is a really important part of that. So becoming aware of your tonality and then making conscious choices around how you use your voice is a really important part of having your message land in the way that you want it to land.
Yeah, and I guess there's something also about the use of your voice can change the meaning of a word. So what's your experience of that, Alex?
Yeah, and that's absolutely true. So emphasis is a really important part of tonality. And if you drill down on tonality a little bit more, you think about the things you can vary with your voice. It's things like volume and pace, pausing, emphasis to underline, and you can be louder or you can be softer, you can be faster or you can be slower. Lots of different things you can do with your voice. So think about your voice as a tool. So for example, if you take a very simple sentence like, "I didn't say she stole my phone," and if you were to emphasize different words, so for example, "I didn't say she stole my phone," which clearly means it wasn't me, or "I didn't say she stole my phone," which means infers it could have been somebody else, or "I didn't say she stole my phone," which infers it could be something else that was stolen, and you did that with every single word in that sentence, you changed the meaning simply by changing the emphasis. So it's really important to put yourself in the best possible physical state in order to be able to power your voice in a way that the texture and the variety of your delivery is relevant to your message, but also supports it and helps it land appropriately.
So there's a big thing here about the way you hold yourself, your physical physicality of it. So what would be your top two tips for what you should do to get your physicality right, to get your tone right?
That's a really good question, because what I've noticed in today's society, and I don't just mean our now mostly virtual society, I mean prior to that, is that in business meetings, very often when people are presenting, when they're on, so to speak, very often they say sat at their desk because technology allows us to do that. Likewise, when people are virtual, they'll stay sat in the position they've been sat for the rest of the day. So therefore, their voice isn't powered by the machinery that enables it to come across in the best possible way. So the first tip I'd give is stand up, for goodness sake, stand up, just like you and I are right now. That enables us to open up our diaphragm and power our voice with the air from our lungs in the most positive way. That's the first thing. The second thing is, and we'll touch on more on this in another video, is know that your physicality will also help you emphasize the messages you want to get across. So think about how you can use your body language in conjunction with your voice to, if you like, synchronize the two together to help underline your message. Like that, you're making conscious choices about the way your voice is being transmitted and therefore heard, but also you're making a big difference to the way that people experience, one, the energy and the enthusiasm of your message, but two, the meaning of your message, because you're underlying the correct words. Those would be the two tips I would suggest.
Okay, thanks. Great advice, Alex. Thanks.
Okay.